Hello, Com 103 students. This is a quick video going over the tribute speech, also known as the commemorative speech. Just wanted to run through the assignment details with you real quick and make sure everything is clear. So, speech of tribute. Time limit, first off, is back down to 5 to 7 minutes. So we got a 5-minute minimum, 7-minute max. You can go over by 30 seconds without getting docked points, but anything under 5 or over 7.5 will get a point deduction for the time limit. Presentation, as usual, is worth 100 points, with the full sentence outline worth 40. So, this speech corresponds with Chapter 18 in the text, and as you've read, special occasion speaking includes lots of different types of speeches other than just tributes. It includes introductions, farewells, announcements, nominations, eulogies, and more. However, for our last major speech, we focus on tributes and commemorative speaking. So, a tribute praises the quality and values of someone, something, an idea, a place, etc. Okay, so here's some examples here I've given you on the assignment sheet. Probably the most common tribute speeches that I get are praising the qualities of a specific person. That said, you are not by any means required to do your tribute on a person. There's lots of different angles that you could take, but I put an example here of Nelson Mandela, somebody who has a rich history and has done a lot to contribute to society and culture, and so that could be a really great speech paying tribute to him. However, we can go beyond just paying tribute to a specific person, and we could think about paying tribute to a thing. I put an example on the sheet here of water, which might not be something that you would generally think of as a topic for a tribute speech, but if you think a little more about water and how integral it is to everything that we do, it's part of our body, it's part of the earth, it's an essential need of living things, but it's also something that we use to have fun, going to the beach. So there's lots of different ways that you could pay tribute to something like water. Me, myself, I'm big into music recording. I teach that at Parkland. I'm a big fan of microphones and different types and flavors of microphones and sounds that microphones can give you. And, I could do a tribute speech to microphones. So that would be an example of praising the qualities of a thing. You can also praise the qualities of an idea, something like world peace, freedom, etc. You could praise an organization. I put an example of NASA. I've always been, fascinated by space since I was a kid, and a lot of that had to do with NASA and the missions that they went on and the information that they put out there to society. And I think that could be a great tribute speech, paying tribute to that organization. There's lots of nonprofits that definitely could be paid tribute to, that hold a lot of values that you could mention in that speech. You could pay tribute to an event. I put an example here of Woodstock. That's a historical event, but it could even be a modern event that's still taking place. Something, maybe you go to Lollapalooza every year and you wanted to pay tribute to that. That could be a relevant speech topic. You could pay tribute to a place. I put an example of Paris. Paris is not only, known for being a beautiful place, but it's known for its culture and how it's inspired artists and writers, and so that could be an interesting approach. And finally, you could pay tribute to a group of people. So rather than an individual person, you might, I put an example, members of a legendary sports team. So rather than, say, a tribute speech to Mickey Mantle, the famous New York Yankees baseball player, you might pay tribute to the, World Series winning Yankees team that he was on. And you could mention not only Mickey Mantle, but other players on that team as well. So a tribute praises the quality of one of these things: a person, a thing, an idea, an organization, an event, a place. Your subject may be historical, it may be modern. It could be somebody from the past, it could be somebody who's still living. Your subject can be famous, obscure. It's up to you what approach you take. That said, Something to think about here, this is not an informative speech. So the speech should not be simply, say, a biography of a person or a list of details about an organization. You might want to set up the speech with some basic information about your subject and, kind of lay the groundwork of who this person or thing is. But the focus of the speech is on the values and the positive qualities of your subject. And we're talking about using creative and vivid language and emotion to pay tribute to your subject. So it should be clear to your audience why your topic or subject is praiseworthy, and just make sure that your speech doesn't become a biography of facts and an informative speech. You should attempt to, as the assignment instructions say, inspire your audience through the use of creative language to heighten their appreciation and or admiration of your subject. By the end of your speech, your audience should feel a stronger admiration and or appreciation for whoever it is or whatever it is that you paid tribute to. So, when we say creative language, think back to some of that stuff from chapter 12 with vivid language and potentially using alliteration or rhymes in your content of your speech. So the overall objective here is to integrate vivid and creative and imaginative language to relay emotion and ideas while continuing to apply all of the other things that we've been learning about all semester, like good verbal and nonverbal delivery, proper organization, good research, and all of that other stuff. All right. So specific directions. Choose a subject. That's where we always start, right? Make sure your topic is something that you can effectively commemorate and or pay tribute to. So, our focus is on a specific person, idea, event, etc. So, there might be some questions that you could ask yourself when you're coming up with your topic. Does my subject have honorable or admirable characteristics? Are there important values that I can connect to my subject or my topic? Does my subject have specific examples that I can mention of contributions, achievements, merits, etc.? If you can't answer yes to some of these questions, then it might be a good idea to consider a different topic. Now, another thing to consider is, when you're paying tribute to something, it's going to be much more effective if it's something that you honestly believe, if it's something that you honestly would like to pay tribute to. So think of things that you find interesting, things that you admire, people you admire, things that have inspired you. Also, something to think about is it's got to be something that you can research. You're going to have to be able to find some content related to your topic. So that can be an important thing to factor into your decision as well. Audience analysis, as always, you've got to consider who you're delivering your speech to, and as much as possible, connect your delivery to that specific group of people. Let them know why your subject is praiseworthy and why they specifically should be motivated to further appreciate your subject. You must use at least 2 different sources for this speech. Once again, one of your 2 sources can be web-based. The other must be what I consider a non-web-based source. That's print materials, personal interviews with credible sources, or you can use the Parkland Library database to access academic journals, encyclopedias, etc. Okay, so you must use at least 2 different sources, and you must verbally cite those sources in your speech, as well as integrating those into your full sentence outline and putting them in your works cited at the end of that outline. So speaking of that, this is our final speech and final outline that you'll be making. We have a full sentence outline with every speech that we do. So as you know, you must use full sentences, but it needs to be organized like an outline. Use Roman numerals, letters, and numbers, as well as indentations as you move through the introduction, body, and conclusion of your speech. Make sure you've got a works cited page at the end with proper APA or MLA format, And also make sure you're letting me know in the text of the outline where you're using that research, okay? And that can be the author's name in parentheses, or according to so-and-so in this journal, and then you share the facts or statistics. Full sentence outline is a separate grade. It's worth 40 points as usual. You will use a speaking keyword outline as we've been doing. 5 note cards or 2 sheets of paper, and make sure that there are no full sentences on that. Should be phrases and keywords only. We will not be using visual aids for this speech, so no slides allowed, or not required, and not allowed on this speech. You're going to have to rely on the use of creative and imaginative language to pay tribute to your subject and help the audience understand why your subject is admirable and worthy of praise. Practice your speech and make sure you can stay within that 5 to 7 minute time limit. So I'm looking for numerous things here, just like some of the other speeches: subject selection, effective organization, verbal and nonverbal delivery skills, effective use of your outline, use of your at least 2 different sources, and falling in that time limit. But specifically related to the tribute speech, I'm looking for use of imaginative and vivid language and appeals to emotion. Okay, so think about ways that you can integrate those 2 elements into your speech. Finally, speeches and full sentence outlines are due in the appropriate Dropbox. Well, the full sentence outlines will be in the Copr Dropbox, and the speeches, as usual, if you're submitting online, will be shared with the Com103 Porter at Gmail Google Drive account. That is all due Friday, August 10th at 5 p.m. Okay, and as usual for this final speech, you do have the option of coming on campus to deliver your tribute speech in person, and we have 3 scheduled on-campus speech sessions happening Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday before that deadline of Friday, August 10th. So the Tuesday session is August 7th at 5 p.m. in room D216. Wednesday session, which is the one that I will be there for, is August 8th at 3 p.m. in room X322. And the Thursday session, August 9th at 6 p.m. in room C154. Please indicate, as we've been doing via the online poll, if you plan to attend one of those on-campus sessions. Once again, the speech is worth 100, the outline is worth 40. Our focus here is on vivid and creative language and use of emotion in paying tribute to a person, thing, idea, organization, group of people, or place. Okay? Hopefully that helped and clarified any questions that you might have on what I'm looking for with the final tribute speech. Let me know if you have any questions. You can email me at aporter@parkland.edu. Thanks a lot.